Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. I am bringing you my most recent furniture flip. I've been flipping furniture for 12 years now. Don't know if that ages me or not. But some of the pieces I'm showing you here have real gritty photos because that's how old they are. They're 11 years old. And then here are some of my more recent projects. But today I am flipping a side table for a client of mine. I am redoing her bedroom and her half bath, and maybe even her kitchen. So please enjoy. I'm using a bevy of Dixie Belle products and Rustoleum chalk paint. So this side table is from my client's bedroom, her old set, and we decided to keep it for additional storage in her room during our makeover, and I am going to give it new life with some paint. Now, I've never used chalk paint before and I'm really excited to get started. Dixie Belle is highly rated, and I am using the Rustoleum chalk paint in particular because it was available at the store and I could just pick it up. All the Dixie Belle products I did have to order online. So I'm going to give this a good clean. I don't care how clean or immaculate you think a piece of furniture is. It needs to be cleaned again, especially with a degreaser. I am using Crud Cutter this time and a rag from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to give her a good scrub and you'll see just how dirty this piece was. All pieces need a good cleanup, so that's my strongest suggestion, is to always clean before you sand or paint anything. And now it's time to sand. So I'm giving it a rough sand. Chalk paint does not require sanding from what I have been told, what I've researched, and the videos that I've watched on chalk paint. I am old school and I've been doing this for 12 years. So for me not to at least lightly sand a piece is just weird. So I did give it a light sanding just to ensure the paint stuck to it, and I wanted this piece to have longevity because it is going to a client. It is not being kept in my own home. So definitely do a light sanding on your piece. If you're not using chalk paint, do a rougher sanding, going with an 80 grit and then a 120 on top of that. In this case, I believe I'm doing the 80 grit that was in the pack I showed you earlier, and then I go back over it with the 120 after I put my first coat of paint on. But you'll see that later. And after I sanded, I gave it a nice wipe down with a damp rag. Some people like to take a paintbrush and dust off the piece first and then go over it with a wet rag, but either way, you want to remove any debris left over from the sanding. So I'm going in with the Dixie Belle Boss. I'm just using a cheap brush from Dollar Tree. This doesn't require anything fancy. It's kind of like a primer coat, but what's really nice is that it blocks the stains, and since this piece is going to be painted a white color, I didn't want any of the darkness from the original piece to show through. And I definitely didn't want any yellowing once I sealed the piece as well. So this Boss is my new favorite item. It will stay in my painting arsenal for the rest of my life. I don't care what it costs. It's amazing. And it just really helped the piece turn out well and help the chalk paint shine through. And now I'm going in with my Rustoleum chalk paint. Now, I do suggest the Rustoleum. It is accessible. A lot of chalk paints do have to be ordered, or you can purchase the one brand from Walmart. If I can remember the name, I'll put it up here. But it's very accessible. I like the idea of just being able to walk in and buy my chalk paint and not having to wait for an order to ship. But I did one light coat on here. Just made sure to cover all the edges, especially on the drawer pieces and the tray piece. And then I sanded it down, smoothed it all out. You know, chalk paint is a little thicker and I didn't have the spray water bottle to smooth it out any more than I did with the brush. So I did sand it down again just to make sure the lines are really clean and that the piece, you know, looked good. I will say I enjoyed using the chalk paint. It went on really clean. Definitely required 2 coats afterwards, but honestly the first coat had really good coverage, so I do recommend this product. I'm sure the other brands like Annie Sloan or Dixie Belle also have good coverage. They're actually probably a lot thicker, to be honest with you. The Rustoleum was a little thinner for chalk paint to my knowledge. So I did do the 2 coats, and even with Dixie Belle or Annie Sloan, I would still do 2 coats just to make sure the piece was covered. And because I have a tendency to miss like hidden areas that are, you know, they're just not in my line of sight. So 2 coats always helps with coverage. And again, longevity. This piece is going to be utilized daily, and I want to make sure it holds up as the drawers are being pulled in and out, or as my client and her husband are walking by the piece as well. I definitely don't want to present them with something that's going to fall apart within, months of being painted. And here I'm doing my second sanding. The first coat dried. I probably gave it about an hour, and then I came back over it with a very high grit sandpaper, 120 or above, and just did a very gentle sanding. And now I'm going to go in with the Dixie Belle gloss in Pearl. Now most glosses you're supposed to wipe off, which is why I'm showing you the microfiber. It's just supposed to be an accent. But since this piece is white and the pearl is white, wiping it off wasn't giving me the effect I wanted. It wasn't giving me the sheen I was looking for. So I actually ended up going back and just covering the entire piece with the pearl, and I did not wipe it off at all. But you will see me wipe it off here just to show you. If this piece had been gray and maybe I was doing a black stain or something like that, definitely wipe it off. It's really just meant to be an accent. But with the pearl, I needed the whole sheen of the product to show through on this piece. And now for my favorite part, gator hide. I've been wanting to use this for so long. I've watched several people use this, like Katja and Furniture Flipping Teacher. Like, this product is the bomb. I will definitely be using Dixie Belle again. I really enjoy using this piece, and I did purchase the sponge for like $3 to use with it too. It just went on so nice, and it really gives the piece a solid seal and helps it cure faster and just really prevents any damage over time as it's being used. And now for the final reveal. I added some blingy hardware onto this piece for my client since she is going for a glam style in her bedroom. And honestly, it turned out so good. She's very happy. which makes me happy. That means I did a good job. And honestly, this piece took me about 3 hours in total. I did take my time with it though, so I took a few days just to make sure everything was sealed, go back and look at it, and make sure I touched up any chips or missed areas. And then I resealed it again with the Boss where I had to do the touch-ups. But see, the difference looks so much better. So let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!